Welcome to our lesson number 14. We'll talk about the essential elements of the transmutative frequency. The transmutative frequency can be generated in different levels that correspond to steps to reach the process of transmutation. When we reach the frequency corresponding to 30%, it is possible to interact with parallel realities in the third dimension. When we reach 70% of this frequency, we become able even to go to other realities physically speaking and come back. That is, to be even transported by ships of bioplasmatic technology and interact physically in other worlds of superior dimensions. When we reach 100%, it is then possible to transcend the laws of the third dimension and to transform our physical body into light, extending our physical life for an eternal time. In addition to the essential elements of the transmutative frequency, which are adequate nutrition, daily physical exercise, adequate sleep, mental acceleration, consciousness elevation, emotional control, and elevation of our vibrational active energy, that is, the sexual energy or the kundalini, we also have the following elements that are considered fundamentals. The first element is the equalization between our brain hemispheres. So, both of our right and left side, the rational and the intuitive side, and thus balance our masculine and feminine side, both internally and externally, and also how we relate with our universe, which is our home, our plants, our pets, and all the people we have a close connection or not. The second element would be the training of the extrasensory abilities in the physical and extra-physical sense, because we can only consider ourselves with a high level of abilities when we manage to be able to deal with the energy in a physical and extra-physical way. The third element would be the training of interacting with parallel realities, whether being indoors, in nature, or in places with a great concentration of energy, for example places where there are elements such as crystals, copper, cobalt, volcanic rocks, emeralds, silver, gold, diamonds, and the basic elements like water, fire, air, and the earth. And most preferably where there is the flow of the water, like creeks and even grotto, because they function as energy channels for the flow and conversion of energy like the veins of the earth, so the interactions are more conducive to happen. The fourth element would be the balance between our health, financial, and emotional state, for those elements are the basis of the third dimension. The fifth element would be the propagation of the knowledge about this process through different ways that are compatible with our own abilities, as that amplifies the frequency of the same, facilitating our learning process. And also for the fact that we have assumed this commitment with ourselves to contribute for the possibility of other people linked to our essence to have access to this information, generating as well a shift in the collective consciousness. The sixth element would be the use and the propagation of related technologies to the improvement of everyone's life, bringing dignity to the population socio-economically speaking. The seventh element would be the understanding and the accomplishment of tasks suggested by the ones whose intentions are for the growth in all senses, personal and collectively speaking. The eighth element would be the prioritization and active participation in activities carried out by groups that have the training of this process as the main focus, with that commitment in our minds and in our hearts. And finally, the other elements would be courage, focus, determination, a unifying sense with a genuine and pure intention to contribute to the personal and collective development that will resonate to all corners of the Earth system and to the universes. So now let's go to our exercise. Let's learn about telekinesis. Telekinesis is the ability to move objects using the power of our mind, or to at least alter their density by bending a spoon, for example, with much more ease, and even the ones that are made out of steel. And so why would this exercise be worth learning? To learn how to use each time more the power of our mind is to learn how to access different levels of altering our reality, and even to be able to heal some parts of our body and to maintain our energy balanced, not to be influenced by negativity. Plus, we can also learn how to have a mind fortress so that we can transcend very challenging situations. But how can we prove that? Well, if we are able to alter the density of an object in a way that most people can't, that also means we can alter the energy of our own body, because the density of the steel can be stronger than our bones, for example. So for the exercise, I recommend you to begin with a spoon that is not so hard like an iron one, and once you feel adapted to the phenomena, you can then try one made of steel, because the technique is exactly the same. But as an introductory exercise, we will learn to alter the density by still using our hands. So with one made of iron, we can consider a beginning exercise. With one made of steel, but still using our hands, we can consider an intermediary level. And then, after a lot of practice, but with probably hundreds of spoons to practice every day for a long time, we can make it become possible to perform the phenomenon only with our mind, so without using our hands. Now I have here a steel spoon, and I will show you the technique. Then start to rub the part of it where it will bend, so we create a friction and synchronize the frequency of the spoon with the frequency of our body. At this moment, you can already start to mentalize that the spoon will change its density and melt like a chocolate, for example. At last, try to find a position that will be comfortable for us to bend it without causing any harm to our hand. And then finally, when you start to feel some goosebumps, it's the signal when the frequency is synchronized, so then we must be very firm with our mind and take the decision to perform the phenomenon. We have to take advantage of the momentum and go for it. And it's as simple as that. Well then, we have reached the end of our last class and of our course. And I want to say that I hope that all this information and practices have generated something very positive within your mind and your heart, as well as your interest has generated on mine. So I am sending good vibrations from here, and I'll see you in our next courses.